Deep Space Nine's most prolific storyline was the Dominion War. While Star Trek's previous iterations had championed the hopeful, peaceful, and humane future of humanity,
No, I won't kill you.
DS9 became embroiled in a bitter, costly fight against a great power from the Gamma Quadrant. This gave us some impressive character dynamics, thrilling political maneuvers, eye-popping action. The war brought us epic fleet battles, inspiring speeches, and a young man, shattered and traumatized, hobbling through a shuttle bay to a hero's welcome. Episode 10 of Season 7 of Deep Space Nine, It's Only a Paper Moon, is the starkest and frankly most realistic portrayal of war in Star Trek. The battle's already over. That was Episode 5, The Siege of AR-558. Directed by Vietnam veteran Winrick Colby, it saw a mismatched bunch of our heroes taking up arms to defend an isolated outpost alongside a barely held together crew who's already been fighting the Jem'Hadar for far too long. We see the nastier side of otherwise upstanding members of Starfleet's finest, tormented by violence and trauma, and it's here that Starfleet's first Ferengi, Nog, suffers a debilitating injury in the field. It's Only a Paper Moon sees Nog returning back to the station, but he returns despondent and haunted. It's not long before he's retreated to live full-time in the Holosuite, isolating entirely from his friends in the real world. The program he goes into? Vic Fontain's nightclub, Earth, North America, 1962. I'm sure you saw the title of this video, and yes, I am studying to become a counsellor. And no, I wasn't inspired by...
What is it?
I don't know. Something...
In fact, it has to be said that the way that therapy is portrayed in Trek in general is not very accurate, shall we say?
I sense nothing.
Including in this episode. But Only a Paper Moon does show trauma and depression in a manner that, reportedly, saw the production flooded with praise from those who have endured such things. So here's a less sarcastic take than usual on one of the most impressive episodes in all of Trek. Initially, this episode was pitched as an ultra-cheap bottle episode that would feature 3 interwoven stories, all of them taking place at Vic's. It didn't take long to realise that Nog's battle with PTSD was the most compelling and meaningful story, and the other plots were dropped. True enough, Paper Moon is strictly a plot only. It's also worth noting that it focuses on 2 non-main cast. That's testament to the strength of the writing and characters in DS9. We start the episode with Nog's return. The whole crew is here. Make the most of Worf, by the way. He'll be out of here and on the Enterprise E in no time, since this episode takes place at the same time as the movie Insurrection. Everyone waits for Nog, but he doesn't appear, seemingly hiding on the transport until everyone else is gone. Then, as the crew offers their applause, he slowly and sullenly limps to his CO. He requests to be excused from his homecoming party.
If it's all the same to you, sir, I'm rather tired. I'd rather just go to my quarters.
And just walks away. So I would observe that while this enthusiastic greeting seems genuine and affectionate, it may have been more wise for someone, ship's counselor, CO, doctor, anyone, to ask if this was a good idea. Nog suffered a life-changing injury. We find out later that his counselling team has made no progress with him.
And his counseling sessions have been going nowhere. In his words, he's sick of talking about his feelings.
And as soon as anyone sees him, he looks withdrawn and miserable. Frankly, he looks embarrassed if anything, and we can get into that later. Someone should have tried to get in touch with him before he got to DS9, and they could easily have guessed that this grand gesture of a homecoming probably wasn't appropriate. I get it, I served. Coming home can be conflicting, so someone should really have seen if heralding Nog's return with a hero's welcome was something that he really wanted. So next up, Nog has settled in, and Station Counsellor Ezri Dax is talking to him, catching him up on events. Then she asks after him.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
Not particularly.
To be fair, some of what she's doing here is reasonable. She asks open questions, doesn't push for answers, and makes it clear that she is on his side.
You're about to ask me why I need to walk with a cane, since Dr. Ben Bussett told you my biosynthetic leg works perfectly. He also told you the problem's all in my head, that I'm crazy.
He didn't say that.
It's what he thinks.
Forget what he thinks. What do you think?
But the story isn't about a successful, traditional counselling journey for Nog, so we gotta move on. Following that, Esri briefs Captain Sisko and explains that she understands that Nog is sick of talking. Now, it's nice that she's empathising, but she has a really dreadful take on the next course of action.
What should we do?
I'm not sure. For now, I think our best bet is to simply watch and wait. Let's see what Nog does next.
Nog is already sleeping 18 hours a day and alternating between anger and despondency. Simply sitting this out and not intervening is not an option. Nog may not wish to talk, but there's other things to try, and maybe some techniques to help him stay calm and understand what he's going through would be an idea. Having said that, if Nog is not feeling understood or listened to, there's an important factor worth considering. While Nog suffered greatly, Esri was in the exact same life and death situation AR-558. She has a right to not be dismissed as just another counsellor. If we really can't get past Nog's wariness of counsellors, there's the option of maybe referring him to somebody. Two options stand out. Dr. Bashir is another medical professional who shared the exact same experience and knows the situation intimately. Outside of him, Chief O'Brien is in Nog's direct chain of command, is the most down-to-earth guy on the station or anywhere, and has seen more combat than anyone. He really feels like somebody that Nog could speak to on a level. With the situation at a bit of a stalemate, we next get the first instance of Jake being pretty much the worst person ever in this episode. Now, Nog is obsessively replaying a song of Vic's that got him through when he was injured and awaiting rescue. Jake gets angry because he's not getting the sleep he so desperately requires as a barely functioning part-time journalist.
Nog, I am trying to be understanding and I want to be your friend, but enough is enough!
Jake yells at Nog, complaining about his own problems, and pretty much forces Nog to leave. Nog goes to Holosuite and fires up Vic's program, asking for every rendition of I'll Be Seeing You. Vic knows something is up. And even as a holographic lounge lizard, he can see that something is up. He asks outright,
So, how's the new leg?
No beating around the bush. The awkwardness it creates for the people around him seems to be a real issue for Nog, judging by his comments throughout the episode. So this is pretty much where the main plot actually kicks in. It's official. Nog is ducking reality and setting up shop in the swinging 60s. The rationale is flimsy.
Officially, I'm on medical leave, and according to regulations, I can choose my rehabilitation facility.
You want to choose a Holosuite program for your rehab?
Why not?
I applaud the fact that they do sort of address the logic of the story, but seriously?
You want to choose a Holosuite program for your rehab?
Allowing someone to use a technicality to literally escape reality and self-isolate is a really bad idea. But even ignoring that, these holo things go haywire at the slightest prompting. At any minute, you could get shot. Conjure a psychotic supervillain.
Arch.
Get shot.
Alexander.
Get mind wiped, trapped, or get shot. So everyone is weirdly on board with Nog's idea for self-help, and Esri briefs Vic. Before long, Nog has settled in and he's watching some flicks, and we get one of those little moments that makes me adore the writing in this episode. Vic hints that he's not going to just let Nog waste away and vegetate, laying the groundwork for him to take on some work to keep him busy.
From these books, I can't tell if I'm as rich as Rockefeller or poor as a church mouse.
Nog suggests that Vic could just use a cheat code, just chuck some money into his fake bank account.
It's not real money, Vic. Don't worry about it.
Casually dismissing the reality of Vic's life, and this earns a gentle rebuke.
Hey, it's real to me, kid.
Then we get something that adds some believability to what could be a ridiculous setup.
I gotta be going on.
Why, Shane?
Didn't he just get shot a minute ago?
Hey, he took one in the arm.
He's not bleeding. He's not even in pain.
Noggles, take it easy. It's only a movie.
It feels like this is Nog's first moment of dissonance. The way a character in the film just shrugs off an injury, it's a shock. And this fiction in a fiction is trivializing the most real thing in Nog's life right now. It's a hint that he can't just resolve his problems here. Anyway, it's now showtime, literally. Noggles protests, but Vic states that he has to work and that he wants to.
I gotta get ready for the show.
Show? I thought we were hanging in.
Well, hanging out, and we are, except I have a gig to do.
I get the feeling that this is to show Nog that life is continuing and he can't just take control of things. If he wants this to be his real life for a while, he'd better play by real life rules.
Cancel it.
I can't do that.
Why not?
It would be unprofessional. Besides, performing is my life. It's what I do.
He'd better accept that both here and out there, everything is not going to stop, regardless of how hurt he is. Vic shows some kindness though, and he asks Nog if he wants to come along to tonight's gig. And again, we get some stellar writing.
You coming to the show?
Sure.
Then may I suggest you carry something with a little more style?
Reminds me of the Grand Negus' staff.
So this gesture suggests to me that Vic is preventing Nog from becoming completely submerged in this fake reality. And this thing is also something he associates with stature and prestige in the real world. We get the single most on-the-nose piece of dialogue in writing ever, but it doesn't need any explanation, and it's perfect.
Now be careful with that stick. It's fragile. It might not hold your whole weight.
Things are going well. Nog seems to be making progress, so it's time for a Jake-tervention. Jake has decided it's a great idea to invite himself to see his friend, who retreated into the Holosuite after suffering a crippling battlefield injury. Jake's got this rando in tow, and an abundance of misplaced triteness and enthusiasm. What could possibly go... Yeah, that's what could go wrong. Okay, let's rewind. So, Jake paying a visit to his friend isn't a terrible idea. Maybe an apology for screaming at him would be a better opener than, hey, here's my hot date. Pestering Nog when
You barely said 3 words to me since you came home.
is a pretty bad idea. Reading rainbows the room, Jake. This isn't how you support a friend, and right off the bat, Jake should have pegged that he wasn't welcome. Jake is an idiot in this episode. Keisha, bless her, doesn't fare much better.
Jake says you're going to be the first Ferengi captain in Starfleet, so says you're quite a hero.
Okay, this seems like a nice thing to say, but Nog is feeling something like humiliation after his experience at AR-558, and this is coming across as patronizing rather than congratulatory.
I'm not a hero.
It's adding to a feeling of unattainable expectation and perceived failure. I'm sure that she's trying to be nice, but if everyone's serious about this being Nog's place of rehabilitation, random people shouldn't be able to just wander in and start bothering him. Who knows what could happen? Oh yeah. Vic intervenes straight away, laying down some boundaries and calling Nog out.
Now get out before I throw you out.
Absolutely the right thing to do, and you can see that Nog is immediately ashamed of letting Vic down. To be fair, Jake deserves a talking to as well. He wasn't exactly very helpful here. So, nothing that's happened here is exactly good, but it has instilled a sense of urgency to proceedings. Nog can't pretend that everything's fine, and it's clear that he can't go back to reality like this. Vic has shown Nog that there's some consequences to not having made any progress, but still, there's no real obvious solution to this situation. Esri checks in, and she should be putting an end to this. They do at least address that in the episode.
No offense, but you're just a hologram, and I am his counselor.
But nonetheless, she gets sidelined, which shouldn't happen. But frankly, the episode's got to continue. So this is a bit of contrivance, but okay, fine, we're moving on. We get a montage of life in Vegas. I don't quite know how much meaning to attribute to this, could be a coincidence, but Nog and Vic always seem to be watching gunfights and fictional violence. On the plus side, Nog is done with the cane. That's a big symbolic and practical development. Next up, Lita and Rom visit. Great news, Rom's been promoted, and it passed Nog by. They even had a celebration out there in the real world. Now, no one's being mean here, but it feels like Nog is getting the hint that life is passing him by and he can't be here and out there too. He tries to brush the feeling off.
Don't worry about it. I probably could have gotten away. Last night was really busy.
But it clearly hits. It's Esri time again, and she's glad to see Nog's progress. Then she gets all reverse psychology-y on Vic.
I mean, what am I thinking? That this new casino is anything more than a ploy? That you'd actually let him live out the rest of his life in a holosuite?
It's a little harsh, reminding Vic that he's just a hologram and that Nog's reality lies outside him and his smoke and mirrors existence. But she does get the point across. And if Vic really wants to help Nog, and he does, then he's got a sort of sacrifice to make. And it would be better to do that sooner rather than later. The final moments are almost heartbreaking. Vic just lays it on the line. He doesn't sugarcoat how much Nog has meant to him. He enthuses about the joy of life.
I've had a life, and I have to tell you, it's a precious thing. I had no idea how much it means to just live.
But he can't live, not really. He's experienced a facsimile of life, and he can't conspire to take the real thing away from Nog any longer. Vic shuts it all down.
Computer.
No, don't!
End program.
Nog struggles to bring it back. But as O'Brien points out, that's just not how it works with Vic.
He can turn himself off.
We get a fun reference to Vic as he reappears for the final time.
Now that the chief's told you I'm smarter than the average bear,
It's kind of cute since James Darren provided Yogi's singing voice in Hey There, It's Yogi Bear. But it's crunch time. We get one of the most human moments in all of science fiction, between a Ferengi and a hologram.
I can't go out there!
why not?
I'm scared. When the war began, I wanted to test myself. I wanted to prove I had what it took to be a soldier. I saw a lot of people get hurt, but I didn't think anything was going to happen to me. Couldn't believe it.
You stay here, you're gonna die. Not all at once, but little by little. Eventually you become as hollow as I am.
And finally, Nog accepts it, it goes back to reality, and we play out. God, it hurts that both Aaron Eisenberg and James Darren have passed away. It's funny, It's Only a Paper Moon kind of reminds me of the TNG episode which followed Best of Both Worlds. Especially in the more serialized DS9, trauma can't just be resolved with an end of episode reset button. This episode could have been really goofy, insulting maybe, but it really works. I can't think of much to add. This is a really meaningful episode, and I'd love to hear if anyone out there has got any thoughts and reflections. Till next time.
I'll be seeing you.